Here's what nobody tells you. In today's world, choosing not to use social media isn't normal anymore. It's either viewed as people hiding from something or misperceived as a quiet form of rebellion. But the truth is, while billions of people are scrolling, posting, and chasing attention, there's a small group of people who've walked away from it entirely because they've become aware of how it subtly reshapes an individual's thinking, emotions, and behavior. And what science is beginning to reveal about people who avoid social media should make everyone stop and think, because they're not missing out on anything. In all actuality, what they figured out is quite fascinating. Let's start with the obvious question. Why is over 5 billion people so addicted to social media? An individual could easily assume it's because social media doesn't just entertain you. It taps into one of the most primitive parts of your brain, the need to feel seen. Every like, every comment, every share triggers a release of dopamine in our brain, the same chemical tied to pleasure, reward, and addiction. And that's not coincidental either. Social media platforms were engineered intentionally by people who studied behavioral psychology to keep you coming back. But here's where things take a significant turn. The people who don't use social media, they're not resistant to dopamine at all. They've just stopped outsourcing it. Their sense of reward isn't tied to strangers reacting to their lives. It's tied to the experience itself. They don't need likes from 200 or more people to validate a moment in order for it to mean something to them. Once you understand that, the entire game changes. Because beneath the surface, social media was never just about connection. It's about comparison. Every time you scroll, your mind is doing something subtle but powerful. It's measuring your life against everyone else's highlight reel. But here's the problem. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's edited performance. And that's where something even more subtle begins to happen. Because the moment comparison takes hold, your mind stops relating to others as human beings and starts measuring them as standards. You're either falling short or trying to keep up. And in that constant evaluation, your ego steps in to protect your sense of self by judging, envying, or competing instead of understanding. And when someone becomes a benchmark instead of a person, the long-term effect of this kind of exposure eventually triggers an individual's ego to do precisely what an ego does. It diminishes our ability to empathize, which thereby leaves love nowhere left to root itself. Because instead of connection, there's comparison. Instead of presence, there's performance. And instead of appreciation, there's competition. Connection, presence, and appreciation are essential when nurturing love. Whenever an individual's ego takes control, love is no longer being experienced. Love is evaluated, measured, then eventually replaced. Another interesting fact reveals how limiting social media to just 30 minutes a day significantly reduces anxiety and depression. But the people who removed it entirely, they experience even greater levels of clarity, peace of mind, and life satisfaction. Why? Because they've stopped playing a game they were never meant to win. At some point, they realize something most people don't want to admit. Social media isn't truly social. It's actually theater. Every post becomes a performance. Every caption becomes a calculation. Every moment becomes something to be judged, measured, and approved. Because underneath it all, there's something deeper happening. Each post is like a tiny audition for approval. Every story is a calculated move in an invisible game of status and perception. Once you recognize that, it becomes extremely hard to unsee it again. So at some point, if we're truly being honest, we have to ask ourselves, how much of our lives are we really living, and how much are we actually performing? Because as Rumi once said, half of life is lost in charming others. The other half is lost in anxieties caused by others. Leave this play, you've played enough. Maybe that's the realization most people are avoiding, that the stage they're standing on was never meant to be their home. Because the moment they step off of it, everything will begin to change. The people who've possessed the courage and discipline to actually walk away from it basically looked at that system and said, This isn't a connection with people at all. This is comparison. Because real connection doesn't happen through a screen. It happens in the look that says everything before a single word is spoken. It's in the way someone listens to you, not to respond, but to truly understand what your thoughts and your opinion is expressing. It's in the silence that feels full, not empty, because something real is being shared. And they understood something most people often overlook. The best moments in life are the ones you don't share. They're the ones you simply live. Contrarily, the average person is spending no less than 2.5 hours a day watching other people perpetrate their lives. And what makes that even more deceptive is this. Social media has turned all of its participants into a personal brand, often without them even realizing it. People aren't just living anymore. They're curating, editing, and marketing versions of themselves to an audience that don't really care about them. The audience they're marketing to is filled with and largely defined by indifference. But the ones who stepped away from social media, they're no longer participants in the rat race. They took every single second of that time back, and they're utilizing all that time to think deeper, to create with intention, to read with purpose, to exist fully present without an audience. There's a concept in psychology called continuous partial attention, where you're never fully present anywhere. You're half in the moment and half waiting for the next notification. But people who avoid social media have escaped that trap. When they're with you, they're actually with you. Not curating, not performing, not dividing their awareness. They're present, and that presence, it changes everything. But this isn't just about behavior. It's also about identity. Because the people who quietly step away from social media often share something deeper. They've developed internal validation. Their reward systems are less triggered by external recognition, approval, or acceptance, and more activated by internal satisfaction. They don't rely on applause to feel real. They don't need visibility to feel valuable. Their sense of worth comes from their personal relationship with God, which is something deeply internal, something that's tenaciously stable and entirely private. And that changes how they move through the world. They're not constantly explaining themselves. They're not announcing every accomplishment. They're not publicizing how they've evolved. They just evolve. Quietly. So contrary to popular belief, stillness still matter in this day and time. Because before clarity becomes action, stillness must exist. And that's something most people have lost sight of. The ability to sit still with themselves, to meditate without distraction, without noise, without performance. Those who step away from constant exposure have rediscovered something rare, their original voice. Every single bit of their true self is all there, and it's mainly because they've allowed themselves to be still. For them, silence isn't isolation. It's protection. Not everything needs to be shared. Not every moment needs to be documented. The private aspects of our physical appearance are meant to remain sacred to whom we're truly intimate with. Because when everything is exposed to everyone, nothing feels special anymore. So the people who avoid social media are the ones who simply chose presence over performance, depth over visibility, and quality over quantity. In doing so, they build something most people never develop. A life that doesn't need to be seen to be meaningful. In many ways, such individuals end up becoming observers from a distance. It's important to understand that they're not completely disconnected by any means. What they are is fully aware. Their perception of life is developed by watching patterns, noticing behavior, thinking before reacting. They aren't pulled by every trend or influenced by every opinion. They move with intention. Because they're not trying to be seen, they're trying to understand, while also being understood respectfully. And that type of awareness provides them with something that is extremely powerful. Complete autonomy. This is the uncomfortable truth that most people ignore. As I briefly alluded to previously, social media is designed to make you feel like you're not enough, so you keep coming back to prove that you are enough. But what happens when you remove yourself from that equation by way of reclaiming your autonomy? When your perception of life is no longer being fed a dose of false reality that tell you on a daily basis that you need more, you need to do more, you need to look better, you need to be more, something unexpected happens. You begin to realize you already are enough. And not because someone else confirmed it either, but because you finally gave yourself the space you needed to actually see it for yourself. And this is where the conversation goes deeper, beyond psychology, beyond behavior. It goes into something more permanent. Because once you strip away the noise, the validation, the performance, you're left with one question. Who are you when no one else is watching? Because everything in this world begins in the mind. Every system, every belief, every action. So the other real question becomes, what are you thinking? And who taught you to think that way? Because character is the only wealth that will carry forever. Please know I'm not ignoring the fact that money certainly has value. It opens doors, it creates access, and it also builds influence. However, none of that follows your soul beyond this life. Not the possessions, not the status, nor will all of the applause you once received. All of it stops at the grave. What travels with your soul is something far less visible, but far more powerful. It's your character, it's your conscience. Those are the only expressions of energy that endure forever. The only things that cannot be taken, manipulated, or erased. Which means the true work of your life is not what you accumulate materially, financially, or through social media posts. It's who you actually become. Because when you remove distraction, you don't just find clarity, you find alignment. And alignment is where something greater begins to speak. Not through noise, not through performance, but through stillness, through awareness, through truth. And whatever name you prefer, the most beneficent, Yahweh, Allah, or simply God, just know that the supreme entity you're praying to doesn't respond to your image. God responds to your character. And also to your integrity when no one is watching, to your discipline when no one is applauding, to what your truth demonstrates in secret, as well as how your behavior performs in public. That's where the true value of one's soul is measured. At some point in their lives, spiritual people learned their soul was more valuable than worldly things. As a result, they stepped off the stage and stopped performing. They stopped comparing, which means they stopped chasing an algorithm that's optimized to show content that triggers their emotions, usually envy, outrage, and insecurity. Because those are the very emotions keeping people engaged with social media platforms in the first place. Upon stepping down from that stage, everything changed for them. The need to impress disappeared. The urge to compare lost its grip, and the constant pull for public attention went silent. In that silence, something real finally found room to emerge. Not the version of themselves that was shaped by an audience, but the version that was always there, waiting for them to respond. That's when everything shifted, and they began becoming who they were meant to be, before the world told them who to be. It's within this mental space, free from noise, distraction, and performance, that they began to recognize what truly matters. Because every thought we entertain, every word we speak, every action we repeat, is shaping something far greater than a moment captured for validation on social media. It's shaping who we become. If you trace throughout all of history any dignified laws, principles, or rules for being human, you'll find in some way, manner, shape, or form that they relate to these wise words from Frank Outlaw, which states as follows: watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Welcome to Truths for the Soul, where wisdom is universal, truth is for everyone, and awakening is the purpose.